But I do love you, silly. You're my best friend. Angie sobbed again. But I don't want to be your best friend. Well, that's not true. I do. Of course I do. And I am. But I want to be more than that, Greta. I want to be your... But her voice faltered, and she felt the tears stinging her eyes again. But Greta didn't laugh at her or let go of her, but instead spoke very softly into her ear. What do you want to be, darling? My friend? My lover? My wife? And Angie swallowed before she answered, aware that this might ruin everything between them. But, with only a slight tremor in her voice, replied firmly, all of those, if you'll let me. And there was a long pause, like in the theater when you went to see a Pinter play, and Angie could hear her own heart beating like drum leading men to their death in battle, like a funeral bell tolling mournfully on a bleak December dawn, sky like lead, like... And then Greta spoke, so softly it was scarcely above a whisper, her soft lips with their licked-off red lipstick so close to Angie's ear that she could feel her breath hot on the peachy down of her face. I think I'd like that very much, love, so very, very much. And then it was hard to say who kissed who. But they were kissing, both of them, lips soft on each other, not hurried but with a palpable urgency nevertheless. And Greta smelt and tasted of the outdoors, her mouth sweet with red wine and lipstick, while Angie was redolent of the warm room and the malty sugariness of the undiluted Horlicks, her hair freshly washed and still scented with apple shampoo, warm and slightly homely like a favorite teddy. And then they were kissing passionately, and Greta's tongue was in Angie's mouth, and she was holding her roughly, tightly, her hands all over her full, orb-like breasts, her own crotch grinding into Angie's thigh. And it was Angie's voice that first whispered, "Fuck me," as they gasped for breath, and Greta dug her nails into her lover's flesh and moaned, "I've waited over 20 years to hear you say those words." Then don't wait any longer, fuck me now, Angie pleaded, afraid that the spell would be broken at any moment and that the magic would evaporate when the clock struck 12. And Greta grinned and quickly unzipped her friend's fur suit and unpeeled Angie like a banana, her plump body white and almost naked under the brightly colored fun fur. I'm not dressed very sexily," Angie apologized, lying there so vulnerable in her socks, white pull-on bra, and little green short-style panties, her flawless skin creamy white like Milky Bar chocolate, a tiny wisp of strawberry blonde hair peeping from the crotch of her tight knickers. "Then I'd better undress you," Greta gasped, sliding her long tapered fingers under the waistband of Angie's panties and pulling them down to her knees, her friend obligingly raising her sexy little bum to assist her, her chubby pussy all pink and inviting under its shock of reddy blonde hair. "Fuck, you're beautiful, so beautiful I want to eat you. Can I eat you?" "Of course you can, but not yet. I want you to be kissing me the first time we do it together. Do me with your fingers, or I can rub myself off on your thigh." "All right, hold on a second," Greta whispered, rising for a moment and slipping her panties and tights down, kicking her shoes off into the darkness of the softly lamp-lit room. "There, now that's better." And Angie nearly came on the spot as her friend lifted her skirt, and she felt the damp fur of Greta's bare cunt starting to rub on her naked thigh, and she let out a groan of pleasure as Greta's lips began to kiss and suckle at her neck, while her fingers stroked up and down her rounded belly, getting nearer and nearer to Angie's heaving pussy. "I've never made another girl come before," Greta whispered, tentatively exploring her friend's hairy pudenda. "Do you like it fingers right in or just on your clit?" Angie groaned. "Either way is good. I usually start on the clit and then end up going right."